It's something that really strikes a chord and people will never forget. It's a good reminder of like, hey, there's a reason why there's ring officials safety standards to help protect that and help limit the possibility of it happening. Again, Muay Thai is not in the top 10 most dangerous sports. So Sawadee Kap, welcome to this episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast. Today is Friday, June 27th. I'm here at Keep Studios in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's getting nice and hot. I was out of town last week. Ran a half marathon up in Duluth, Minnesota. It was hot up there. It was actually hotter there than it was in Arizona. Go figure. So, I want to say today's episode, it's a difficult one, but it's an important one. All right. A young fighter, 20 years old, tragically passed away last week at the TBA SA Muay Thai tournament in Des Moines, Iowa. His name was Anas Aziz. While I don't know Anas personally, I have seen his team out at the tournaments. I've refed their fights, seen the coaches. I want to just take a few minutes to acknowledge this heartbreaking loss for his coaches, his team, his family, and anybody that was around at this tournament. I also want to share his coach's statement and reflect on what this means for the Muay Thai community and the importance of safety in Muay Thai. All right. So let me just pull up the statement. So there is a GoFundMe. I'll put the link down in the description. They were shooting for a goal on here, and it looks like they did reach the goal. I hope they keep it open, and because the amount, whatever it is not enough for the family, for somebody losing a kid. No matter what, there's never an amount on a life. Okay, so I'm just gonna read the statement here from the GoFundMe for you. All right, so Anas Aziz was a beloved member of the Chicago Muay Thai and Kickboxing Club. A dedicated son, brother, friend, and a talented fighter with a bright future ahead. At just 20 years old, Anas inspired everyone around him with his determination, kindness, and mentorship, especially to his young brother, Dawood, who looked up to him both in and out of the ring. Anas was not only a rising star in Muay Thai, but he's also about to begin a new chapter as an electrician, just days away from joining the electrical union. His sudden passing has deeply affected his family, friends, teammates, coaches, and the entire Muay Thai community, including other gyms, the staff, and officials at the TBA SA tournament where he passed. The loss is felt most by his parents, Howard, and I hope I'm pronouncing it correct. It's spelled AJA, it's Aja, and his brother Dawood, who are now facing unimaginable grief and unexpected financial burdens. And this was from the coach. It said, Anas' father called me and asked that I notify his teammates, his opponent, and the entire Muay Thai community after he spoke with the medical examiner. The examiner found no evidence of trauma of any kind. There was no detectable heart or brain issues, and there was no underlying health issues. As now the cause is completely unknown and inconclusive, it may take months to determine if ever at all. That's the end of the quote. So while there is no explanation, it does not change the outcome. Anas's family believes the truth should be shared with and should be shared honestly. Anas's family did not have insurance on this too. That's why they're doing this GoFundMe. So for the funeral services and remembrance, the funds will go directly towards the funeral expenses, travel costs, and transporting Anas's body and supporting his brother Dawood as he navigates during this time with the family. They were trying to get the services by June 30th. So they've reached that goal. But if you're listening to this and you're on here, like go check the show notes. Anywhere on there, there's a GoFundMe link. So go check it out. Share it. Just get it out there. So that way, the more money, the better. That's always going to help, whether it be them taking time off from work, whatever it may be. So there is also an update from the GoFundMe organizer. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you to our friends, family, and beautiful Muay Thai community. So they're basically thanking everybody for helping reach this goal. So it sounds like they reached it yesterday, which is great. this is literally every coach and fighter's nightmare. This is one of those things, even like officials too. This is, but this is the game we play, right? So we all train to fight hard. The ring officials are always looking out for safety. The coach is always looking out for the best interest. It should be of their athlete, right? We always expect everyone to walk out of that ring whenever they step into there. And even when nothing seems to go wrong, something, tragic can happen, right? There was a death a few years back. I want to say it was in, I think it was in Wisconsin. It was like one of those things where there was some issues, I guess, that had arisen with a fighter, and he collapsed in the ring, actually. A few years back, and there was a debuter, somebody during their full contact debut. It's something that really strikes a chord, and people will never forget this, right? So when people get, not saying there's anything with the event staff, from my understanding, they did everything by the protocol. Knowing the ring official staff that's there, like the head, I know that they put a lot of effort into keeping the fighters safe. So I'm sure everything was followed. I wasn't there, but it's just from my understanding. I've worked this tournament before, so I know that like when you go into these fights, you're going out weigh-ins, and the sanctioning body or the organizers telling you, no, we can't accept this. Like, you can't accept your blood work. You can't accept this. Your physical isn't valid. It doesn't have the correct information on it. Or when the refs make maybe what you perceive as an overly cautious call, and the medicals feel like a hassle. I know it's like a pain in the butt to get this stuff done if you've never done it before. We have to remember safety is not optional when it comes into this stuff. It's a contact sport. It's the foundation for the growth of the sport as well. Every official, every doctor, combat doctor, paramedic that's there, every promoter wants fighters to go home safe. Your opponent's coach wants you to go home safe, man. Like at the end of the day, let's just remind ourselves as a community to take this moment to keep that in mind, and remind those that are coming behind us on this path that there's a reason for this, and just, not only just be more empathetic, but more accountable to how we approach competition and safety standards, right? Not every, some people are earlier in the process of coaching and building their team. Like, do the heads up concussion safety protocol training, right? It's free on the CDC website. It takes like 45 minutes. I don't care if you've been in combat sports all of them, get it. So that way you have that certificate, right? You're in a leadership position if you're a coach, so lead by example, and that way the rest of your team can follow suit, right? Very, very important. And I can tell you firsthand that like I've seen, unsafe practices from coaches throughout the years. Definitely things in the education on it has gotten much better, and the accessibility to education is much better. But it's always a constant reminder and a work in progress. And, unfortunately this tragedy happened. Yeah, I had to bring this up. The last one we talked about on here was a semi-contact event. And it sounded like the safety protocols were not followed at that one. That was in Canada. The kid's still brain dead back home. They got flown from Canada back over to his family in China. So, yeah, this kid, Anas, his family, they're currently facing a lot of this, funeral expenses and the financial burden. So go check out that GoFundMe. Help his brother, family during this time. GoFundMe link, like I said, is going to be down in the show notes here on the podcast if you're listening. So if you're on Apple, it's in the show notes on your Apple podcast. If you're on Spotify, it'll be on Spotify. If you're listening to this on YouTube, look down in the YouTube description. If you're watching on YouTube, look down there as well, okay? Again, I didn't know Anas personally, but this kind of loss just affects everybody in the Muay Thai community, whether you're a coach, a fighter, a parent, promoter, official, spectator. Moments like this kind of remind us of why we do things the way we do when it comes into safety standards, okay? So let's honor Anas by doubling down on protecting each other, looking out for each other, right? As a community, even if we're fighting each other, man, like it's okay. One, it's a sport, and that's how we show real respect to the people who do step into the ring. It's like it kills me when people boo fighters. Like if something happens and they don't like how they won or something like that. It's like, hey man, like they're stepping into the ring. That's like the ultimate sacrifice of their body. And with that too, I want to remind you that like I can't remember when's the last time there was like here in the U.S. at least that there was a death in the sport. I mean, I can probably look up like football, soccer. I can look up of course regular boxing, horseback riding, gymnastics. Those sports are actually more dangerous, and I've talked about this here before, than Muay Thai. Like the coach said, there was no evidence of like pre-existing heart stuff or brain trauma or trauma from his competition. It's like these things just happen. So even when you do take all those safety measures, these things can happen. And I just want to remind everybody that might be listening, if this freaks you out about Muay Thai, don't let this freak you out about it. It's one of those things that happens in any sport. All right, you could be driving your car and get sideswiped. And we drive every day. You could be riding a motorbike when you go to Phuket or you go to Thailand, right, for your training trip, and something happens there. And it's just it's a good reminder of like, hey, there's a reason why there's ring officials' safety standards to help protect that and help limit the possibility of it happening. Again, Muay Thai is not in the top 10 most dangerous sports. Funny enough, right? So with that, I'm just going to leave it at that for today. And just take a moment to reflect. If your coach has looked out for you, thank your coach. Like, go out. Hey, thank you for that time where you told me to stay home after sparring. Like, thank you. That time after my competition and I got my bell rung. Thank you for telling me to take time off, even if I didn't want to and I was upset with you. Or the ring officials who saved you. Like, I've been yelled at by coaches before. It turns out their fighter was like not able to see and they didn't know, right? Or the sanctioning body, if there's a big mismatch with your opponent and you're still game to fight them, and that's what the sanctioning body is for. They're there to make sure that you guys are there and you're safe. All right, because we want to make sure that you're able to get out of the ring and go to work on Monday, spend time with your family, and do all this stuff. So, my condolences to the Chicago Muay Thai team and the friends and family and ring officials who were affected by this tragedy, and of course Anas for tragically losing his life. These things affect everybody in many different ways. So if you're listening to this, you're somebody who's there, like, man, reach out, talk to people, please. Like, don't let this be a thing. June is it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, but mental health awareness across the board. And it's okay to talk about this stuff. Like, if you're feeling down, you're feeling scared, like, talk to somebody, please. You can always reach out to us at Muay Thai Podcast on Instagram, via our website. Say hi. We've done some stuff for mental health as well. My friend Tim over at SAC Life, who's on a mental health mission. So just know that there's a lot of resources out there, and I hope that the service for this young man's family and his team are able to find some peace through this. I can't even imagine. All right. But with that said, I will see you next week. Sawadee Kap.